In this video, we'll be defining pallet tracking and demonstrating how pallet tracking is used within riteSCAN. Pallet tracking in riteSCAN is a feature that adds value above and beyond what is provided by SysPro. Pallet tracking, also known as license plating, is a method used to group and manage inventory items at the pallet or common container level. Pallet tracking can be used with any container that holds or groups items and is not limited to pallets only. Pallet tracking provides you with the ability to more easily and rapidly move items with fewer scans by grouping items on pallets or in containers. Transactions can be performed on a single process at the pallet level against all stock codes on the pallet. Let's take a look at how pallet tracking is used within riteSCAN. As you can see, pallet tracking is available in many modules within riteSCAN. In this tutorial, we'll be covering the following modules: warehouse transfer, stock take, purchase order receipt, sales order picking, job issue, job receipt, and pallet maintenance. Using pallet tracking within warehouse transfer allows you to transfer an entire pallet from one warehouse to another or transfer one stock code from one pallet to another. To enable pallet tracking, you must choose one of the pallet tracking modes by clicking Options and then Pallets. riteSCAN will remember your selection here for future transactions for this client. In this example, we'll transfer the contents of an entire pallet from warehouse E to warehouse N. In this example, we'll transfer a single item from one pallet in warehouse E to a different pallet in warehouse N. Here we'll click the Pallets button and enter the pallet we're transferring the stock code from and the pallet we're transferring the stock code to. Using pallet tracking within stock take allows you to perform a stock take for all of the items on the pallet with one transaction. Using pallet tracking within purchase order receipt allows you to receive stock codes directly onto a pallet. If the pallet ID does not exist, it will be created on the fly. Using pallet tracking in single mode within sales order picking allows you to pick the contents of an entire pallet. If desired, you can view the contents of the pallet before posting. In To From mode, you can pick stock codes one at a time, defining which pallet the stock code is coming from, if any, and which pallet the stock code is being picked onto. As with other modules, if the pallet ID does not exist, it can be created on the fly. Using pallet tracking within job issue allows you to issue the entire contents of a pallet to a job. Using pallet tracking within job receipt allows you to assign the finished goods to a pallet. As you've seen throughout the video, pallets can be created automatically on the fly within riteSCAN. riteSCAN also maintains the items assigned to the pallet and the status of pallets automatically depending on the transaction being performed on the pallet. Should you need to manually maintain a pallet, you can use the Pallet Maintenance module. The Pallet Maintenance module can be used to create, edit, and delete pallets, change the current status of a pallet, as well as add, delete, and transfer stock codes to and from pallets. Here you can view a list of existing pallets. You can create a new pallet by providing a pallet ID manually, or you can click the Generate ID button to have riteSCAN create one for you. The format of the auto-generated pallet ID can be defined in the riteSCAN administration application. Here we'll add 2 items to the pallet. You can edit an item on the pallet. or you can delete an item from the pallet. You can also transfer an item from one pallet to another pallet. If you delete all of the items from a pallet, riteSCAN will ask if you'd like to delete the pallet. Here you can change the status of a pallet. Pallet status is used to control what operations can be performed on a pallet. For example, if a pallet has a status of in inspection, riteSCAN would prevent inventory movements for that pallet. Similarly, if the status is in transit, you would not be allowed to issue materials for that pallet. Lastly, you can also delete a pallet within the pallet maintenance module. For more information on pallet tracking, please review the riteSCAN Pallet Tracking Guide on our support portal at ritesoft.freshdesk.com.